He walked in with zero fear, and walked out with everything. At WrestleMania 41, the unthinkable happened. Penta El Zero Miedo didn't just debut, he shattered history. From nearly stealing the Intercontinental Championship with a Roman Reigns-style double pin, to doing the impossible and ending the reign of the Tribal Chief himself, this was a night that rewrote WWE's future. But how did a masked underdog from the world of Lucha Libre rise to crush the empire of Roman Reigns? This story isn't just shocking, it's straight-up legendary. Earlier that night, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line in a high-stakes fatal four-way match. Penta stood across the ring from Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. It was his first ever WrestleMania match, but Penta didn't show a hint of nerves. He wasn't just looking to win, he was looking to make a statement, a moment, something unforgettable. And in the chaos of the match, with bodies flying and alliances crumbling, a flash of memory hit the WWE Universe. WrestleMania 37, Roman Reigns stacked Edge and Daniel Bryan for the double pin. Could Penta do the same? Could he recreate that kind of dominance? There was a moment when it looked like he just might. Balor hit the coup de grace on Dominic, but before he could cover, Penta nailed him with a rolling cutter, then dragged both men together and climbed the top rope. One stomp, one cover, two men down. The crowd was losing it, but at the last split second, Braun Breaker launched back into the ring and speared Penta out of his boots. The match didn't end there, but that image, that possibility, was burned into everyone's mind. The idea that maybe, just maybe, Penta had what it took to not only win, but do it in iconic fashion. He didn't get the pin that night, Breaker did, but the night was far from over. You see, this all started months earlier. On Raw, Penta and Braun Breaker had been tearing each other apart in brutal matches that blurred the line between sport and warfare. The Intercontinental Championship was their battleground, but the involvement of the Judgment Day, especially Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, added more fuel to the fire. Rumors swirled about whether the four-way would end things. Would Judgment Day exit the picture? Would Penta and Breaker continue the war solo? Or would someone walk away with the belt and a whole new target on their back? Backstage sources hinted that even Triple H wasn't sure until the week of WrestleMania. But fans didn't care. They just wanted to see what Penta would do next. And to understand how he ended up in the Night 2 main event, you've got to rewind to the Royal Rumble. 30 men entered, 1 remained, and that one was Penta. In a stunning twist, he eliminated a returning Brock Lesnar to win the Rumble and punch his ticket to WrestleMania. That moment alone shook the foundation of WWE. A luchador from another world, a man of mystery and menace, now standing in front of the most dominant champion in modern WWE history, Roman Reigns. This wasn't just about a championship, this was about culture, identity, power. Roman had beaten Cena, Lesnar, Cody, Seth, even The Rock. But now came the unknown. From the start, Roman didn't take Penta seriously. The Bloodline laughed him off. Solo Sikoa called him a masked joke. Paul Heyman went further, dismissing his whole legacy with one line, "This isn't Mexico. This is the island of relevancy." But Penta didn't flinch. He didn't even speak. In eerie, stylized promos, sometimes with subtitles, sometimes in broken English, Penta whispered threats that sent chills down spines. Even emperors bleed. The spirit of warriors past will take your crown. Every time he showed up, the lights dropped. The mood changed. Roman's smirk never faded, but something in his eyes did. 2 weeks before WrestleMania, the final confrontation happened backstage. No words, just tension. Penta stepped into Roman's space, held up his hand, spread his fingers. "Zero Miedo." Roman scoffed. "You're gonna need more than that, homie." What no one realized was he had much, much more. WrestleMania 41, Night 2, the main event, Universal Championship. Roman Reigns walks out first, no longer with Jay or Jimmy, but flanked by Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. A new bloodline, a darker one. Roman's gear glistened with gold, a lei around his neck, eyes like daggers. This was his yard, his kingdom. But then, the lights dropped. A mariachi death march began. Skeleton dancers spun. Fire rose from the ramp. Penta emerged slowly, in black and gold gear that looked stitched together from shadows. Across his chest, Roman's emblem slashed with claw marks. The crowd didn't know whether to cheer, scream, or just stare. The match began slow. Roman was in control. Slams, strikes, trash talk. "You don't belong here." But Penta just kept smiling, that eerie, taunting smile. He absorbed punishment, then struck like lightning. A springboard sling blade, a package piledriver, a missile dropkick. The crowd came alive. The near fall had everyone on edge. But that's when things turned. Solo Sikoa jumped on the apron. Tama distracted the ref. Jacob Fatu yanked Penta outside and Simone dropped him through the announce table. Roman laughed. "Acknowledge me." He rolled Penta back in. Spear. 1, 2, kick out. Roman was furious. He pulled Penta up for another spear, but Penta countered. Super kick. Another. Fear factor. Ref drops to count. 1, 2. This time Solo pulls the ref out of the ring. The boos rained down, but the chaos wasn't over. Suddenly, the camera caught Damian Priest, then Santos Escobar, then Dragon Lee. The Latino World Order was storming down the ramp, not to interfere for Penta, but to stop the Bloodline. It was chaos. Fists flying, the crowd roaring. Roman tried to grab a chair, turned back toward the ring. "I'm going to end your little fantasy," he growled, but Penta kicked up, kicked the chair from his hands. A barrage of chops and kicks followed, driving Roman into the corner. And then, silence. Penta stepped back, cocked his fist, looked to the sky, a deep breath, a roar, and he hit Roman Reigns with his own move, the Superman punch. The crowd exploded. Roman stumbled forward. Another Superman punch. Then, without missing a beat, Penta pointed to the ropes. Ran. Spear. Roman's move again. 1, 2, kick out. The energy was electric. This wasn't mockery. This was war. Penta stood over Roman, removed his glove, kissed it, and tossed it into the crowd. For every luchador they said would never make it, he shouted in Spanish. One final fear factor, this time on a steel chair tossed in from the chaos. He covered. 1, 2, 3. The stadium shook. Roman Reigns was motionless. The Bloodline scattered. Penta knelt in the ring, holding the Universal Championship to his chest like it was his soul. Michael Cole's voice cracked. Roman Reigns has finally fallen, to a man with zero fear. In the weeks that followed, Roman disappeared. No promos, no appearances. Paul Heyman went radio silent. Solo tried to take control of what was left, but the Bloodline had cracks too deep to hide. Meanwhile, Penta didn't just become a placeholder champion, he became a phenomenon. He wore the belt during lucha festivals, he defended it on Raw, on SmackDown, even NXT. He gave dream matches to the fans. Ilya Dragunov, Gunther, Seth Rollins. He carried the belt across borders, across languages, across cultures. The image of him hitting the Superman punch and the spear wasn't seen as parody, it was seen as power. He had reached into Roman's kingdom and claimed it as his own. Special merch dropped. Empire crushed. Pro Wrestling Illustrated put him on the cover, title in hand. Roman's fallen lay wrapped around it. Eventually, Roman would return, changed, quieter, humbled. A rematch seemed inevitable. But for now, one truth remained. On the grandest stage, a lucha legend didn't just survive the island of relevancy. He planted his flag in its heart. No one saw it coming, no one even believed it was possible, but by the time the lights dimmed at the end of WrestleMania 41, one name was etched into history: Penta El Zero Miedo. In one night, he walked into the biggest stage in all of sports entertainment as an outsider, and he left with not just one moment, but two era-defining performances. A fearless luchador who had long thrived in chaos, stepped into the storm and became the eye of it.